Hey, budgeters. Welcome to another episode of Sensible Chat. I'm Sensible Bobby. Thanks for joining me. In the last few weeks, we've gone through 5 of the 6 steps to slay your debt. We stopped creating new debt, which put us on solid footing to move forward. We created a financial picture, which showed us how much money we have to put toward our debt. We chose the debt snowball method, which helped us figure out how to attack our debt and where to start. We created a spending plan, which is the roadmap for getting out of debt. And we created our budget, which is the foundation to execute on our plan. Now we're ready for step number 6, follow your plan. How do we do it? It's all in the maintenance. Let's call it the budgeting cycle. The budgeting cycle is a mixture of regular and daily maintenance. The regular maintenance is updating your spending plan for each paycheck and budgeting the money from each paycheck according to your spending plan. This needs to be done as regularly as you get paid. The daily maintenance is monitoring your budget and tracking your spending. These are the keys to following your plan. So, what does monitoring your budget mean? Simply put, it means look before you spend. I'm going to show you an example of this on YNAB. So if you're listening to the podcast, jump onto my YouTube channel right now so you can see exactly what we're doing. Here's the budget that we have set up in YNAB. We can see that there's currently $1,200 in our checking account, and that's broken up into several different categories. In the available column, you'll see that there's $1,000 for rent, $100 for groceries, $50 for gasoline, and $50 for our personal loan. Let's say that it's time for a trip to the grocery store. We can see that we have $100 in our grocery fund. Let's say this week we know that we need $125 in our grocery category instead of 100. We've got a dinner party coming up, so we're going to need to spend a little bit more. Let's go through each category and see where we can get an extra $25. Starting at the top, the first category is rent. Well, we know we don't want to take anything out of that category. The next category down is gasoline, and there's $50. If we take $25 from this category and put it into groceries, that will leave $25 for gasoline. Is that enough to get us through until the next time we get paid? We're going to assume the answer is yes. So we're going to move $25 from gasoline into groceries. Now you can see there's $125 in the grocery category and $25 in gasoline. The available amount for all of our categories is still a total of $1,200, which is exactly the amount we have in our checking account. So you can see that all we've done is recategorize our money. Now we're ready for our trip to the grocery store. Now, most people are familiar with how tracking your spending works, but for those who aren't, and also so we can see how important it is, let's go through that process. First, click on the checking account on your left-hand side. That brings up your check register. Any transaction that is going through your account needs to be entered here. So let's take our grocery transaction. You want to click on Add Transaction, put in today's date, put in the payee, and this is whatever grocery store you shopped at. I'm going to say Albertsons. And then we're going to select the category. This is a very important piece of the tracking. You want to select your grocery category. And then you can put in a memo if you need to. That's optional. So for the outflow, that's going to be the amount that you spent on groceries. Now, let's say that we budgeted $125, but our receipt only came out to $110. So that's what we're going to enter. And we're going to click Save. Now, let's go over and see what that has done to our budget. So now if you look at the budgeting side, you can see that the available balance in the groceries category is now $15. Remember that it was $125 previously, and you can see the activity of $110. So this shows you that now you have $15 left in this category. You can also see that the balance of your checking account has been updated as well. There's now only $1,090 in there, where previously we had $1,200. So the tracking is really important because now that you've entered this transaction into YNAB, you have an updated balance of your checking account and you also have an updated available amount for each category. So the next time you go to monitor, which again is looking before you spend, you'll have an accurate look at what you still have left to spend. If you're using YNAB, get the app on your phone so you can take it with you. This makes it so simple to monitor your budget before you spend and track your spending as you go. I do it whenever I leave a store. Before I ever leave the parking lot, I've already entered the transaction. This gives you two advantages. Number one, your receipts don't pile up. And number two, your budget is always up to date. If you're using pen and paper or a spreadsheet, enter your transactions nightly and then make a monitoring journal for the next day. A monitoring journal would simply be a list of categories you're likely to spend on the next day and how much you have available in each category. If you're doing daily monitoring and tracking, it's probably going to take you about 10 minutes, unless you have a lot of purchases. If you're doing it weekly, you're looking at more like half an hour to an hour. But you might find out after the fact that you don't have gas money for the following week. When you're about a week away from getting paid, it's time to get your spending plan ready. The first spending plan was based on starting something new, and it's a great template, especially when you're trying to get out of debt. But changes are going to come up for a variety of reasons. Some of them will include finding extra digital change to throw at your debt. So, next week, we're going to cover how to update your spending plan, where to find digital change, how to beef up your debt payment, and how to cut down on the amount of interest you owe. For now, pat yourself on the back. You've conquered the 6 steps to slay your debt. Stick with your plan, and you'll be celebrating big on your debt free date. If you need help with any of the steps, get in touch with me and let's work together. You can schedule a free call with me on my website at sensiblechat.com. While you're there, check out my blog post series, The Diary of a Budgeter. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and connect with me anytime on MeWe, Parler, LinkedIn, USA.life, or Gab. Until next week, remember, do the math, live the life.